today that we're going to do today is referrals and the table close. And so what's cool about this is that I am going to go over referrals first. And the referrals, it is awesome. This is an opportunity for you to get a lot of business done. So don't ever skip this part of your party because it'll make a huge, huge difference for you. Referrals help you in so many ways, and I'll kind of go over those things. But the way that you set it up, and this is something I do either, sorry, my hair is in the way because I have a fan going. Either this is going to be done during the time that you are showing the new facial peel. That's what we're doing here at the studio, is doing a lot of times during that time period, or during your party if you use the foundation primer. That's a real good time to do it, because you know how you're supposed to let it set for a few minutes? So that's a real good time. But the way that you set it up, and this is what we use here, and it's, I believe, on my website. If it is not, let us know and we can send this to you. It's the Fabulous game. And what we do with this is I always joke around and say, did you see my picture on that billboard on the way here? And they'll all go, some people say yes. And I'll go, oh, really? And I'll go, no, there wasn't one. That was a trick question. But you can start it out that way. You kind of are joking around. And then I say, we do not advertise for people to do makeovers. It is kind of a word of mouth. And it helps depending on, well, with you, you'd be doing your own skincare party. So it helps me to build my business. And it's a cool way to make you look really good. And so what I do is I play this little game. It's our first little giveaway tonight. And it just makes it easy and fun. And what we're going to do is I'm going to give out these sheets. And who's competitive? And so you have, you'll get some people, I'm competitive. And I always say, grab your phones, because we're going to use them as cheat sheets. Usually at the beginning of the party, you've told them to turn off their phones or put their phones on silence or vibrate or whatever. But now you're asking them to get them back out. And I always say, now this is your little cheat sheet. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to let you kind of do this. And what I do is this costs you nothing, but I make you look really good to your friends and family. And so what you can do is you can write down names and numbers of people that are within an hour driving, whatever you prefer. If you prefer to only drive a half hour, then say that. Say a half hour drive away to the person right next door, but it can't be anybody here in the room. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is write down the names and numbers of people that you'd love to pamper. Maybe there's somebody that just lost their job, or maybe they just got a new job, or maybe they're pregnant, or maybe they just retired. Depending on the group that you're with, give some different suggestions. Your neighbor, somebody in your family. But go ahead and write down names and numbers, and you can circle whether they like text or if they're more of somebody that would like a phone call. And then what I will do is I will try to reach out to them one time, offer a gift certificate from you, but it costs you nothing. So it really makes you look good. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for you. And I give them a little bit of pampering. I give them pampering, and then they get the gift certificate. So it's just kind of a feel good. And so this is a great way. It helps me to build locally, because I'm trying to build in blank area, or I'm trying to build with sharp women like yourself. You can kind of do those kind of things. And let me just tell you, heads up, if they're over 25, you're going to get more points. So you want to kind of keep that in the back of your mind as well. And so I'm going to give out the sheets. Put your name on the bottom. And then I always mention, because down at the bottom is something about if they do a check mark, they can have you ask people on their Facebook, and they get 100 points for that. So I always go over that, so that you can also go to their friends on Facebook. So it's just kind of a cool thing to have that in your back pocket. So then I put on music. You can use your phone, you can use an iPad to put on music. I always put a song on, and I tell them, you have until the song ends. This is a good time to kind of clean up the table a little bit, do some different things yourself, kind of keep yourself busy. Don't just stare at them. But have I want to see who's real competitive. Here at the studio, we have these pens that are the flower pens. So I always say, I want to see what these flowers move, that kind of thing. And so I hush and I let them start writing. And sometimes you'll have to explain it a little bit more, that kind of thing. But I get them going, and I have a prize. And what I do is I just do something inexpensive. This is Beauty Blotters. in a cute little bag with a bow. You can do different things. You don't want to give away this store, but you want to give away something that makes people want to help give you names. Now, if you don't have the fabulous sheet, what you can do is have them turn over their profile card and have them write on the back of their profile card. And then when the song ends, then you say, finish that last name and number, you know, that kind of thing. And then I say, let me help you figure out your points. First of all, if you did do the Facebook thing, and a lot of times I have to re-explain that real quick. This is all done super fast. You know, you get 100 points. If you don't mind me just reaching out to your friends on Facebook just once, I let them know about this gift certificate that they have that they get to use at a pampering session. But like I said, it costs you nothing, but it just makes you look great. And so, you know, go ahead and check mark that, and then you'll put 100 points over here to the side. Then count how many people you have that you've written down. Cool. You have 11, write down 11. Now go through and figure out how many of them are over 25 and add them again. The reason why you do the over 25 thing is, does your business do better if you're working with people usually 25 and older? Usually yes. So that's one of the things. And ask for, nobody can be under 18. You don't want to get involved in getting a bunch of 16-year-olds names. That just doesn't help you. And sometimes you have to look at the quality of your guest. If you have a skincare party and the quality is not great, would I play that game? No, I just wouldn't. I would just do something different. I would not do a referral, because if I know that the referrals are going to come from low quality people, and I'm not trying to be mean, it just is a frustration in your business. So sometimes you have to look at that too. But that's it. That's how you play the fabulous game. And then whoever has the most points gets the prize. And you always want to have extra prizes on hand just in case you have a tie. But usually that doesn't happen. But you have to always help figure, because a lot of people don't know math anymore. And so a lot of times you got to be fast on your feet and be able to figure out quickly. So, but it is such a smart thing. The reason why the fabulous sheets are such great tools for you, I always have them bring them to me when I'm closing with them. And so let's say they have 6 or 7 names down on there. Then I talk to them, I set up their second makeover, and then they'll always say, well, I don't know who I'd invite. Well, they have the fabulous sheet. I always say, oh, here, why don't you invite these people? Or I can invite them for you, because I'm taking the sheet with me. And so a lot of times that's the start of her guest list. So that works out great, and I invite them for her, but it just helps you. It's a great booking tool as well. But you should walk out of every party with 50 to 75 referrals. And like I said, hopefully you book everybody for a second makeover, so that helps you with also the guest list. So you kind of have, you know, it's a two-way street. It really helps you. But that's something that you just automatically do. Started out, like I said, with a cute thing, you know, did you see my face on the billboard on the way here? You know, no, of course not. Sadly, we don't advertise for help, and so we're building here. And so the way that I'm building is I'm just going to have something fun, something for us to, how many of you guys love something free? You know, you always want to get them involved and everything, and so that way they're not thinking too much about it. Make it fun, make it easy, make it simple. And like I said, that sheet's great for that. Okay, closing. Closing is such an important part of our business. This week we're going to do closing at the table. And this is super important. First of all, never have a lookbook out. You should never have a lookbook out at a party. Why? Because it lowers your sales. What people will do is picky icky. You know what they'll start doing is they'll go, I'll just have a lipstick and a mascara. So your sales go way down. When I started using a closing sheet is when my sales went way up. And so you just have to learn how to romance the product. You've went through, you've showed the product. I'm not going to go through any of that. So then you come to the end. And this is what I say. I say at the end of a skincare party, I always say, you know, you're probably sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, my skin feels fabulous. How do I get some of this? And I'm going to show you how you do that. So I'm already doing the setup. And so I don't sit there and then take the our closing sheet, thank you Janet Carr, and hand it out to everybody. No, there's also a little setup for this. And so what I say is, I promise I'm not going to do a seance or anything, but I'm going to have you all close your eyes. Now I will tell you, when I first heard this, I thought, that sounds so stinking hokey. And it's weird and I don't like it. When I started doing it, when I chose to do it, my sales doubled. So now I got used to doing it, even though it still seems a little weird, but it works because what you're doing is putting things into perspective. So I have everybody close their eyes. Now, if they look at me and they still have their eyes open, I'll go, oh my gosh, you gotta close your eyes. I'm gonna put you in the Mary Kay corner. You know, I just joke around, but I say, I'm gonna call you out if I see eyeballs, you know. So I have them close their eyes. What I do is I say, okay, I'm gonna have you go to your closet and I'm gonna have you go get that outfit. Maybe you bought it for a wedding. Maybe you bought it for a Christmas party, depending on what time of the year. Christmas party when you're in the fall, maybe in the winter, I talk about Christmas party. Summer, I talk about that wedding or graduation party. I usually will say that special occasion outfit. Keep your eyes closed. I want you to put it on your bed. And I want you to put with that the shoes that you'd wear, the purse you would carry, the jewelry you'd wear with that thing you put in your hair, maybe the belt you wear with that outfit. Put it all on the bed. I always joke around, move the cat, move the dog. Okay, put it all on the bed. And now I'm going to ask you to do some fast math. The outfit was this much, the purse was this much, the shoes were this much. And I'm just saying it like that so that they're kind of adding it up. Okay, do some fast math, just kind of round up. Where are you at? Okay, get a figure that outfit cost you. And then I say, okay, you are a bargain hunter. That outfit was between 0 and 100, raise your hand. And I'm still telling them to close their eyes, because if I have eyes open, I still tell them to close their eyes. 100 and 200, raise your hand. 200 and 300, raise your hand. Now let's say everybody put their hand up at 100. Okay, I don't care. I'm going to still keep acting because they don't know, their eyes are closed. I keep going to 300 to 400, raise your hand. 400 to 500, raise your hand. I just keep going until, depending on the group, I'll go like 500 to 600. Over 600, raise your hand. And then I say, okay, everybody's hands go down. They don't know what their friend just told me. It helps me to know like who I want to close first and everything, because I kind of see who spends money. And I kind of see the people that don't spend money. So I get to see that. And then I say, open your eyes. Okay, who wore that outfit in the last month? Usually you'll have 1 or 2 people that raise your hand. Oh, okay. Now, would you guys agree that most of you wore that outfit that you had on your bed? Most of you wear that maybe 6 to 8 times a year? And most of the time people go, yeah, some people go 12 times or 13 times. And I'll go, okay, you know. And I just am kind of, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. And some of them will say, I only wore that once. Yeah, sometimes we buy certain outfits and yeah, we only wore them once. Yeah, that's what we do. Okay, guys, I want you to, same kind of question. How many of you guys wore your faces last week? And most people will be confused. And most people go, oh, I don't wear makeup hardly at all. Or I wore my face twice. And I'll start kind of giggling and I'll go, no, that was kind of a trick question. I'm sorry. And I'll go, every single one of you wore your face this last week, every single day. Every time we leave our house, we take this with us. And what do people remember about us? They've done all kinds of studies. In fact, I saw this study when I was at a doctor's office once. And they did this study, and they saw what people remembered after they met people for the first time. What did they remember? They remembered their face. They didn't remember what clothes they were wearing, even their hairstyle, but they did remember their face. And I always say, you know how you always think, I know her, I know who that is, I just can't remember her name, but I can remember, I can see her face. I said that is one of the most common things because people do remember people's faces. So you just want to kind of remember that when you're looking at getting started with skincare. And I always say, if I was only going to start with one thing today, I would definitely start with getting on some great skincare. How does everybody's skin feel? You're constantly reminding them how their skin feels. Then I give out the sheets. What have I just done? I got them ready to put things into perspective. And so then I give everybody a closing sheet. I tell them right then to grab a pen. I want you to grab a pen because I'm going to be adding some things because of you guys being wonderful. You know, Susie Q's guest tonight. I have some specials that I'm running tonight. Because of you coming to my studio, I have some specials running tonight. Always there's a reason. I'm adding things tonight. So then I go through, and depending on who I have, if I didn't do any time-wise products, instead I just did repair products, then I'm not going to talk about things very much that I didn't show. I will go through very quickly. And just for time's sake, I'm gonna look at our time. Just for time's sake, I do this very, very quickly. I go through all 4 boxes, do a mini commercial, something like a trigger word. Something that I said, like the microdermabrasion, I always talk about that immediate gratification when I go talk about the microdermabrasion. So I'm gonna say, you remember that product I talked about that had that immediate gratification product that we did on the back of your hand? That's number 3. So I go through the boxes very quickly. You don't want to spend a half hour doing the sheet. You already went through and talked about the product, and hopefully you're picking things up. Like you want to pick things up and hold it and talk about it. You know, remember this comes with that cleanser and everything. So you go back through very, very quickly the different boxes. But then I say, but you know what? I bet you're kind of like me, and you probably love getting a real, you know, bargain. And so if you're a bargain hunter like me, I want you to look to the right. And so that's when, and this is where Mary Kay used to always say, you sell the sizzle. So I talk about, let's talk about this queen of everything over here. And I talk about, oh my gosh, what this is this considers, if you buy 6 sets, normally it would cost you $411. You're gonna get it for $299. And if you understand, I'm never saying $299. I'm saying $299 for 11. I talk about things, I never say the word dollars. Just know that's part of sales. You never want to say that. I always have the roll-up bag in my hand, and I went through the product, I've touched the product. You always want to like kind of embrace the product. And you know what I mean, if you want them to sit there and go, oh my gosh, I've got to have this stuff. That's what you want them to be feeling, so that's why you hold it, embrace it, touch it. But I talk about the queen of everything. Now you can get 6 boxes, and just remember, the repair box counts as 4. The miracle set counts as 2. So if you got the repair box and maybe that microdermabrasion and the satin set, that would be your 6 boxes. Now with that, you're gonna get, and that's when I list certain things, and really that is up to you. What I do a lot of times, but you just want to keep in perspective that as a sales director, we make a higher percentage because we get paid on our own orders. So kind of keep that in mind. But a lot of times what I give away is their foundation brush, and their foundation primer with the queen. Plus I talk about, this is a $35 bag, and I show it to them. Oh my gosh, this comes off. And so this you can put, you know, with your gym bag. This you can put by the side of your bed. This you can keep in your bathroom and keep it organized. And then you just roll it up. If you're going to travel, you got it all set and ready to go. And this is actually, it is guaranteed just like our product. Isn't that amazing? So it's just an awesome bag, and it's $35 bag you get for free. So it is, I can't live without my roll-up bag. So in fact, I have multiple roll-up bags, so I love it. So you get that with the queen. So basically, and then I do quick math. And of course I already know it in my head, but I act like I'm figuring it out right then. I'll always say, basically you're getting like 172 free at the, instead of that $411, you're gonna get it for $299. I mean, it is a great deal. But you may be thinking, oh, I just didn't want to spend that much. Well, I will tell you, my #1 seller is the Princess of Quite a Lot. That's my #1 selling set. If you're looking at the repair box, that is the Princess of Quite a Lot. You get this box, you're gonna get it, you're gonna pay $205. So regularly it would be $285 if you pieced everything out. And so you're gonna save 80 bucks, but on top of that, what I am doing tonight, always use tonight, today. You never wanna have things be open-ended, like forever. No, this is a deal that I'm cutting you tonight. And so what I say at that point is, usually I do the facial primer, the foundation primer, and the foundation. So foundation and foundation primer. Plus, you're gonna get the bag. Oh my gosh, that is an incredible deal. So you're getting so much free, and it's such a good deal. It is honestly, it's a smart way to go. And like I said, that's my #1 seller. So, and if you have not been selling yet, don't worry, but it can be your #1 seller. You would buy it, wouldn't you? So it would be your #1 seller. Then, if, you know, hey, next thing down, miracles happen. Miracles happen is awesome, because if you look at set #1 and 2, and that's the time-wise basic set, and then the night and day, I say, instead of paying, you can look at the prices, it'd be like $128. If you put them together, you get it down here for Miracles Happen, and it just depends on your foundation what the price is. But it's right at 100 and a little bit more. You're gonna get your brush free with that too, so you're basically getting 20 some dollars in free product with that. So that is a great place to start. If I could only start with one thing, I would definitely get the Miracle Set. It's gonna make your skin look and feel fabulous. So that's what I would do. But I will tell you, you're probably like me. The first time I tried Mary Kay, I was thinking I want a lip gloss. I just couldn't believe, the prices were a little bit more than I thought. But what I love with Mary Kay is you can get everything, take everything home, but not have to pay for it all at once. And so then I talked to them about, we take MasterCard, Visa, American Express, Discover. Of course, we take checks and we take cash. But I also offer payment plans. And I will tell you, you may be thinking, oh, what is she talking about? I will tell you, when I started offering payment plans is when my sales doubled as well. The way that I work payment plans, I never chase anybody for money. I have two ways of doing a payment plan. One with a credit card, one with checks. With the checks, they write me, and you never want to offer more than you want to carry somebody. So if somebody's buying, and it's only if they're buying like multiple sets, or at one of the queen or the princess, let's say the princess, let's say it's $220. I would let them split that into 3 at the most. Whatever you offer the most of in payment plans is what people are going to take. So just know that, and I might be getting into the next training with this. So I'm going to stop there because I think I am. But credit cards, you can do the same thing, but you get all the payments up front from them. Checks, I have them write me multiple checks, and I have them dated. But just know that's how you show this. Now, this is the important part, and this is what I do, is I put on a little music and I say, you know what, kind of help me. This is like a little bit of a GPS. This will help me when I talk to you individually, because I want to kind of go over some things with you. And what I want you to do for me is I want you to pretend that last night $2 million was put into your checking account. Gosh, it was just great. And I want you, or you just won the lottery, something like that. I want you to take your pen and I want you to put a star next to any set you would take if you just got given $2 million. So I give them about 30 seconds. And I act like I'm looking at my watch. A lot of times I don't even have a watch on, but I always act like I'm looking at a time, put on a timer, whatever. And I always go, if I see people not holding a pen, I'll go, oh no, grab your pen. Go ahead and mark up your sheet. This is your sheet. So go ahead and put stars next to any set you would get. And if you want to put one big star, that's fine too. Okay, after 30 seconds, then I say, okay, I know you might be thinking, well, how does that payment plan work? Or how does this work? Because sadly, I bet most of you here did not get $2 million in your account yesterday. And they'll all giggle, And I'll go ahead. For me, I'm going to put on the music again, give you about 30 seconds. Would you go ahead and circle the sets that you're kind of thinking about or you need a little bit more information on? So go ahead and circle those real quickly. And so I have them do that, and then that's when we end. And then I start closing people individually. Now, you never start with your hostess because she's going to get a hostess credit. But you always start with the most excited person at the table to talk to first. And a lot of times if I'm by myself, I'll say, okay, Susie Q, I want you to come along with me, or sometimes I'll ask who needs to get going, who needs to go fast and everything. But I try to always, Susie Q was my most excited, then I'm going to start with her. And then I'll go to my next excited person. Okay, Trisha, you come after Susie Q. And I'll start putting who's going to go, because what does a woman do when she buys? She comes back to the table and everybody says, what did you get? And a lot of times, if you have the most excited person first, they're going to tell everybody, oh, I got that one roll-up bag. That worked out really good. I did it in payment plans, so that was wonderful. But that's how you set up the close. That's how you do a closing sheet. It is so important. It really, really is. And it really makes a difference. All the little things, I remember thinking, this is weird. But when I learned to just do it, when I learned to just say, I'm going to do it the way that they tell me, it's amazing what will happen. So I know that you're going to close with the best of them. This is the end of your table close. Thank you.